Welcome to the Startup Funding Espresso. I'm Hall T. Martin, where we talk about how to raise funding and invest in startups and the time it takes to drink an espresso. If you have a question about startup funding or investing, please go to the website, startupfundingespresso.com, and type in your question into the chat bot in the lower right corner to receive an answer. I hope you enjoy this episode. Hello, this is Hall T. Martin with the Startup Funding Espresso, your daily shot of startup funding and investing. In choosing an investment, the investor matches risk to reward. A public stock may go down, but most likely will not go bankrupt. The startup is much more likely to go under. Since the risk is low in a publicly traded company, the reward may be low. Since the risk in the startup is high, the reward must be high. For later stage startups, the risk of going bankrupt is lower than for earlier stage companies. Therefore, the return on investment may be lower. Beware investments such as restaurant deals where the reward is low but the risk is high. Most restaurant deals offer a percentage of revenue over the lifetime of the business and nothing on the exit. The risk is high because it could go under in the first few years. In many cases, a restaurant deal will give the investor a 10 to 20% return but stands the chance of losing it all by going out of business. For the true early stage company, the reward must be high because the risk is high. Match risk to reward in your startup investing. Thank you for joining us for the Startup Funding Espresso, where we help startups and investors connect for funding. Let's go start listening to today. Hall T. Martin is the director of Investor Connect, which is a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to the education of investors for early stage funding. All opinions expressed by Hall and podcast guests are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinion of Investor Connect. This podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon as a basis for investment decisions.